The starting lineups this evening.
Well, what's going to be essential for the Colorado Springs Switchbacks are those two holding midfielders, Bogosh and Sofo. They'll look to replace each other and entice the defensive unit of the Switchbacks to step out and create space behind the back line.
And interesting for the Red Bulls as well. They switched to a 3-back here tonight. They've been playing 4 so far in league play. And if you look at the bench there, the bench is loaded. They've given some bench players options in the starting 11 tonight, but the likes of Forsberg and Choupo-Moting, the big guns are available on the bench. Break glass in case of emergency here on the road in Open Cup action. Rain has been streaming down. It has switched over. Earlier, it was a wintry mix with some snow temperatures in the 30s. It is not quite May 6th yet here in Colorado Springs, but the rain is expected for most of the match, so that will have an impact here on the slick artificial turf.
Well, it's definitely something that can change even in 10 minutes from now, so the players will have to be prepared for that, and they will have to make those adjustments technically to make up for those types of conditions.
First time ever that an MLS opponent is here on this field against the Switchbacks. They haven't actually faced an MLS opponent, the Switchbacks, since 2016 when they lost to the Rapids in the 4th round of this tournament. Referee in charge tonight is Nabil Ben Salah, and we are just about set for the action. Alongside Casey White, I'm Joe Malfa. Glad to have you with us this evening on Golazo Network and Paramount Plus. Switchbacks left to right in the black, Red Bulls right to left in the gray. And now we're officially underway after the hesitation.
At central starting position, especially because the Switchbacks are playing their wingers a little bit more inverted to match up in a 3v3 against those backs, so that'll be part of his role here.
Carmona. Saw Edwards stumble there before he got back to his feet. The weather certainly playing a factor. Carmona to the end line, clips it in front, flicked away. Colorado Springs back line. Herrera fell for a moment. Cleared though. No worry for the goalkeeper as he gets back to his feet and takes his spot again.
And all that attack came from Raheem Edwards facing forward, and they haven't seen the wingbacks get on the ball very much, but those inside to outside runs from Carmona, from Sofo, from Bogosh up top, those are very hard to defend for a center back because it pulls them out of a shape that they're comfortable in to defend in the wide spaces. So that 2v1 overload there can help the Red Bulls as they look to get service in the box.
So far, it's been the night of the MLS sides. Both games that are in the books went to extra time. Charlotte won at North Carolina FC. And DC United won at home against Charleston Battery. Played long here, looking for Sofo, bouncing through. Sofo latches on, some contact there. Sofo cutting, shooting, and it's in! He continues his scoring ways. Mohamed Sofo gives the Red Bulls the lead.
Well, and that's exactly how quickly the Red Bulls can attack, and he's in such good form right now, Mohamed Sofo. Nothing really has come from the run of play for the Red Bulls so far, but you have the individual qualities that they can get into that final third and really make things happen, and that's what Sofo does here, looking for the long service, gets right in behind. He's going off the backside shoulder and just gets around Lacroix in this moment. Very strong to take on Lacroix, get away from that tackle, and he just...
Bogosh is the only player in this starting lineup tonight for the Red Bulls who doesn't have at least one start this regular season. He's been used exclusively off the bench. He was one of their offseason signings, part of the U22 initiative. 40 appearances, 10 goals in his native Poland before joining the Red Bulls this year. Just 20 years of age still. Turned 21 in July. I mentioned that note about at least one start for everybody else in this 11. We see it differently from MLS teams in Open Cup, KC. Some will completely rotate. Some will throw some of their MLS Next Pro or Academy players in. Red Bulls have taken a very different approach here. Edwards looking long. Comes out the other way for the volley. Saved by Herrera. With that volley.
If I had connected on the volley, I'd try my luck the next time as well. This is a great ball from Edwards. Lifts it up, gets over the ball. He wasn't trying to go for full power. He just wants to connect cleanly, and that he does.
Nearly another for the Red Bulls, saved by Herrera.
Well, that was impressive. Anytime you're trying to volley in general, it's hard to technically execute, but from that distance, I love what we saw there.
And we see another USL team make a similar run this year. Last year, Indy 11 made it to the semifinal. Lost there against Kansas City. Floated long again toward Dylan. Marcucci read it well and securely grabs it.
Well, and you can almost sense where they need to create a 3v2. Maybe Dylan comes over, but I know he's an aerial presence as well, so you want to keep him in the box, but they can't really figure out this 2v2. Good defensively from the Red Bulls, and then Huerman just says, I'm going to put it into a dangerous area. Way too much air on that. It allows Marcucci to come out and collect.
Pressure from the Switchbacks. Red Bulls haven't faced much of it playing out of the back, aside from those moments where Dylan pressured the keeper, simply because they haven't had the ball much back here, the Red Bulls. I think they'd prefer it that way.
I think they would too, and they certainly can build out, but they've played a little bit more direct in those moments and have just been okay letting the Switchbacks hold the ball.
Sofo, flag stays down. Mohamed Sofo, a second on the evening, doubling New York's lead, leading into the break.
Well, it's just a matter of moments and individual mistakes that are really undoing the Switchbacks at this point in time. And hey, great finishing though from the Red Bulls in the final third. It's right here, a turnover in possession there. Looks like they could clear.
Look out, given away. Stepping up, Fieldberg muscled off the ball, cleanly won. Well done defensively by Tim Parker.
Well, and that was one of those moments where you're just going to say, I'm not letting you in behind here. What you have to look at is, does he extend the arm in this moment? It's a bad pass across. Fjellberg looks to go. There was no extension of the arm. The elbow goes up a tiny bit, but I think that's a pretty clean challenge, just stronger in that moment against Fjellberg.
That is a big, strong man who's been around MLS, who made a nice play, simply put. Dylan leading it through. Last chance here before the break, and it's just wide. That would have drastically changed the equation.
And Fjellberg almost makes up for that last play. This is really good. Right in that moment, Fantana finds Dylan, a nice slip ball. The prep touch kind of gets away from Fjellberg there, but he does well get an opportunity off. Just skies it. Has to be lower on frame in that moment.
That'll do it for this first half. Red Bulls have not allowed a shot on target. They've scored two of their own through Mohamed Sofo, and they're in complete control.
And you point that out, and how you manage your roster becomes very important. Managing minutes and then using that personnel throughout that entire time.
Red Bulls left to right in the gray, Switchbacks right to left in the black. Underway now in half number 2. Glad to have you with us this evening on Golasso Network and Paramount Plus with Casey White. I'm Joe Malfa. Both goals in the first half coming from Mohamed Sofo. 16th minute and 44th minute. One change at the break for Colorado Springs. Yosuke Hanya coming on for Jonas Fjellberg down the left wing. Here come the Red Bulls again. Edge of the area, it's Carmona, just wide. Had it on his preferred.
An inside to outside run, checking his shoulder, looks to take on, can't quite do it. Instead finds Carmona, just finds a half yard of space, tries to tuck it into that far post area. This is a good finishing choice. Just
ending that first half with 2 shots, but still nothing on target. Need to change that in this second half. Well, not necessarily. Sporting Kansas City did just win the other day against the LA Galaxy without a shot on goal. Or a shot, it was an own goal. Flick on. Good idea from Huerman. Ward couldn't quite get there. .39 degrees and dropping here in Colorado Springs. What has been rain this whole game could potentially become sleet and snow in the late stages of this second half. Space here for Hanya, fed that way. Dylan making his run. Hanya on the left foot. Hanya, save made by Marcucci. First time he's had to make one tonight. That's the first shot on target for Colorado Springs. Whipped in again.
Becoming more dangerous. Right here, Fontana looks to go forward, plays Hanya. A little bit of hesitation. Would have liked to see him go a little quicker. Well, the decision making when they've won the ball has been in one touch, not two touch, and that doesn't slow down the speed of play. It actually makes it hard for the Red Bulls to recover, and that's where they're finding success.
Another service in. Dylan, oh, he just wrong-footed it. Battling Andale. Comes through for Yangor. Overlap, Donkor. Stays in for Donkor. Chance here, whips it through with pace, the header off target. And a corner now for New York.
And Donkor just pushing the pace in there and just making sure that there's some dangerous opportunities to happen. Right there, Yangor plays him into the wide channel, puts pace on the ball to get it across. And right here just says, I'm just going to make something happen. You never know what kind of deflection can occur with that happening. Ends up getting the corner kick.
Come off a defender, find an attacker, go off the goalie. Could do anything. At the very least, you figure you might get a corner out of it, and that's what does come for New York. Whipped in. Sofa was lurking on the backside. It'll be a throw for the Red Bulls. Flicked on. Still loose in the area. Chance for New York to put this one to bed. Bogash lays it off. Edwards feeds it across. It's Yangor! They can taste the round of 16. New York up by 3.
And this is just incredibly efficient play in the penalty area. They looked like they were playing in the middle third. There was no rush. There was no need to go forward quickly, and that's what I loved about this attack, even all the way to the finish, but it starts on this left side.
Nicoletto to serve. If there's any flicker of hope here for Colorado Springs, have to get that first goal back some point in the next 10 minutes. From the free kick, headed across frame, loose in front, almost the moment.
And this is a good service from Nicoletto. It's to the back post area, helped on, just falls down into the penalty area and just skies it there, looking for a deflection in that moment, but it was a good second chance opportunity for the Switchbacks. System and things like that. So obviously approaches this game thinking this is what will work versus the Switchbacks, but it allows his players to have some buy-in, some confidence in this system should they need to use it through league play.
And an example to look back on. If you do stumble into that game, say it's mid-July, and you're sitting there and you say, oh, you know what, that 3-back might work here. Let's go back and show the footage. Here's how it worked.
Exactly.
On delay, gets to it. 23-year-old from Blaine, Minnesota. Sent away, and a play.
When we spoke to James Chambers, he thought the change of point to create 2v1s or 1v1 isolations was going to be really important. And I would argue the Switchbacks have actually done that pretty effectively, but it's when they've gotten there, what have they done with it, and they haven't been able to finish.
Play it in, chance here! On the road, back Colorado Springs! They've been knocking on the door, and Anthony Fontana gives them their first.
Well, they're definitely looking to play more direct. This is 2 games in a row now for Fontana with finishes just in league play against Phoenix. Does it again here tonight. There's a little bit of life in the Switchbacks. They changed the point of play. It's a good first touch from Real, getting it down off his chest, taking that penetrating touch. Just
We'll see Sean Nealis for Noah Ayla. Emil Forsberg for Wiki Carmona. Julian Hall for Victor Bogash. At this point, you wonder for Sandro Shorts if he wanted to get these guys some minutes at this juncture, or if this is, okay, this is slipping maybe now after seeing that first goal from Colorado Springs, and let's put this to bed before these embers of this comeback become a raging fire here. Tanya
maybe a little bit of both.
And it's a free kick coming now for Colorado Springs.
Well, I think you're right. There is some of that fatigue factor or getting minutes and things like that, but also it was getting a little bit out of hand there. And we saw it before the Switchbacks even scored their goal. They started to show that they could take advantage of some cracks in the Red Bulls defense throughout. They just weren't finishing. And so then when they get that goal, you start to wonder as a manager, okay, let's shore this up and see what we can do to make sure that we don't let anything occur.
It'll be Micheleto to deliver. Told he'll be subbing off momentarily, so this could be his last involvement. Micheleto goes for goal. Marcucci wise to it. It'll be Isaiah Foster making his club debut for the Switchbacks. And Aiden Rocha coming on as well. Elsewhere, it's now 1-1 between Tacoma and Portland. Well, Saze de Rosario scored the winner last round at the set-piece duties this year. That's an injury that has kept him out in 3 appearances, 1 start at this juncture of the season, 2 months into it. On the beat, it is Hewerman. I went for goal. Tried to surprise Marcucci. Back out to Hewerman. Now the service played in front. Mark with his 2 goals in this one.
And it was critical. Okay, it sounds obvious that 2 goals are critical to a win, but what it was, they didn't get many opportunities in that first half. So he took advantage of when he actually did get the opportunities. That completely changes the complexion of the game.
Choupo-Moting has been terrific so far this season for the Red Bulls. 4 goals and an assist. Over the top, finding Forsberg. Flag stays down. Herrera retreating. Forsberg. Another now for New York would fully put this to bed. Getting it back up to a 3-goal lead. Forsberg. Edwards. Centering. Kept alive now by Yangor, who scored once already. A tantalizing ball through. Nobody else wearing the stone jerseys there. Choupo-Moting lays it off, and he finds an assist. Nealis comes in off the bench and scores. All the right buttons pushed tonight by Sandro Schwartz, and the Red Bulls have restored that 3-goal advantage.
Well, Forsberg was the one who slowed down play, recycle play. When that happens, you can get more numbers forward. This is your outside back coming up, getting forward into the attack because of the sustained possession of the Red Bulls in this moment. And really good combative play in and around the box. Yangor gets it. He just keeps it alive, gets it across. But I want you to look at the composure of this finish. Nealis starts with the challenge.
4 minutes come and gone. There's the final whistle. Red Bulls came on the road, took control of this game early. Mohamed Sofo, a pair of first half goals, 2-0 lead into the break, and then they slammed